This is the humble home in Agwe, Gulu City, where retired head teacher Mr. Okullo Marcelino lives with his family. Born in 1945 in Paicho, Angaya Plateau, to Mzee Paul Anying from Angaya Plateau and Lucia from Layibi Punyo. He comes from a family of over 10 children. He now narrates to me where his journey started from.
Paicho, when I was in P1, that is where I remember very vividly. When I was in P1, I had a bit of difficulty in education because I was without my mother.
Your mother's son?
Yeah, my mother was not there. And life was difficult. I had a very, very, very difficult life until I finished P6. Then I went to the boarding school, St. Joseph's Junior Secondary School. So I had a difficult life.
He grew up in Paicho Plateau for a short while before he left to stay with his maternal grandmother in Alero, present-day Noya district, for 8 years. He started his primary school in Bobo Manam.
But later on, my brother, called Celestino John, who was in the seminary, decided to tell my father to take me away from Malero and go back to Paicho. Then I went back to Paicho in 1956. Then I started P1 at Paicho. I studied at Paicho for 6 years. Then I sat for PLA. Then I went to St. Joseph's Junior Secondary School at the mission there. I studied there for 2 years.
He then joined Komboni College in Lira, where he studied for 4 years. Then after, he went to Toro College. He was one of the pioneer students of HSC at Toro College. He studied there for 2 years and sat for Cambridge, which was the Advanced Certificate of Education.
Then I went to Makerere, where I did bachelor degree in arts with concurrent diploma in education.
Take me back now to the point where you joined Makerere University. Did you want to become a teacher or you wanted to become
My first choice was to be a lawyer, but then my passes could not merit me that. And I had to be admitted in faculty of education. That's what happened.
Had you always wanted to become a teacher? At what point did you realize that you wanted to become a teacher?
Well, when I applied to go to Makerere University, my second choice was education. The second choice was education. So when I was admitted for education, I could not now change.
Mzee Okullo tells me how he admired teachers and lawyers at that time, and he really wanted to become one.
At that time, I admired teachers also. I admired lawyers, I admired teachers. For the teachers, at that time, to see a teacher was a very big privilege to the people in the villages. And a teacher was a very important person. That was why I wanted to be a teacher.
Over 30 years of Layibi College, from 1972 to 2005. Years many describe as Layibi's best years under a black headmaster were during Mr. Okullo's leadership.
I was there at Layibi.
Yes.
All my children were born at Layibi College.
What stands out for over 35 years? What were the highs and the lows of you being a head teacher at Layibi?
Well, as I normally tell people, that whatever job you are given, do it well. Do it well. I did my work as a teacher very well. Make sure when given responsibilities, you fulfill it. Make sure as a teacher, your students pass well in your subjects. That was number one. In my subjects, always, after the release of the exams, from UNEP results, from UNEP, always you get a series of distinctions. That is the thing. And that is how I was picked among the many teachers with whom we went to Layibi to be a deputy. And when you're a deputy, do your work as an administrator well. And I did it well. Then later on, after a few years when you're being a deputy, the ministry said, you become active. You became active. Then they called me for interviews, and I did it well. Did it once and passed through. And they posted me back to him. And that's where I stayed.
I asked him why his former students, who at one time even gifted him a car, loved him that much.
Because I think, according to me, they know better, but according to me, they love me so much because what I told them to do, they now realize, come to realize now, that I actually look after them as their parents. That I wanted them to have a future, and they now have a future. The most important thing is for their future. They have a future now, and that's why they love me so much, because of their future that they have now.
Layibi Okullo, as is famously known, tells me that when you're a good teacher, your students and everybody else will always remember you. He tells me that upon his retirement, even a road was named after him in Layibi.
When you're a teacher and you do well, your students will always remember you. And because of that, I now know that I was promoted very quickly because of my hard work. But of my hard work. That's why I advise whoever is still there as a teacher, do your work. Your students will be your ambassadors. Yeah. They'll tell you wherever they go, then we have a teacher somewhere there who is very good. And this information goes up, even up to those people who are going to interview you. When you appear, they say, you are the one. That's a position. So for me now, when I go for any function or any interviews, they will, when it comes to my name, they will say, you are the famous Okullo of Layibi. I said, yes.
Do they refer to you as Lafon?
Yes. Is that the famous Okullo of Layibi? I said, yes. So they know me everywhere. If they want me to be known, that's the right thing to do. And that's why when I was leaving, there's a road in my name also, in the city here.
Oh, really?
Yes, when I am still alive, it's there.
Wow. What is it that...
It's Okullo Marcelino Road.
Okullo Marcelino Road.
It is there.
Wow. Congratulations.
So if you go to Layibi, you will find a big road from down going that way. That one is the one.
I then asked him which student stood out for him in his 35 years as head teacher at Layibi College, and he was at a loss of words, mostly because there are so many. But the ones that he could mention were the late Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya, and the former Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, Dan Kidega.
There are very many. There are very many. Let us say there are very many. We have the late Olanya Jacob. That was the Speaker of Parliament. Then we have this one who was the Speaker of East African Assembly. Dan Kidega. Those were my students after the students. Even up to now, we are doing what I call. So yeah, this was also he was my student. There are quite many around. Some of them know me, I don't know. When they come from abroad, they try to look for my home. They come back to here.
Wow.
They come back to here. And that's my issue. That's why I'm proud of them. Yeah.
I asked him when his proudest moments were in both his career and personal lives, and this is what he had to say.
My proudest moment was when I made Layibi the third in the whole country.
When was that?
Yes, I've forgotten the year, but that is when I was very proud. Very proud of that. And I was very proud when it came to getting students for government. I would have over 10 or more going to government. Makerere, Guru University, the fact that now in the old Guru you don't find one going to government is very sad. That was my proudest moment. Then also my proudest moment was when in football, this became second in the whole country for secondary school, post-primary football tournament. That was my proudest moment. And also the fact that I stayed in Layibi from the time when I became a head teacher to the time when I left, no school defeated us.
Do you think education has changed from the time you were head teacher compared to now?
Well, greatly, of course. Even the curriculum has changed. It's not the one we were teaching. Now it's different. It's now different. And education, the importance of education is finally getting actually eroded in it. Because people now say you can send a child to school, the child will fix, get a degree, but not God. Yes, during that time, the government had a good planning of human resources. The number of people going to Makerere will be the number of jobs at that time when they're finishing. We would finish today with 5 people waiting for you. You will wait. Everywhere to go. You will already be reviewed at the university when you're finishing. You're finishing. But your luggage, your luggage.
Did he have any regrets as pertaining to his career as a teacher? Mr. Okullo said this to me.
Normally, things are not smooth all through. Not smooth. In my career, I also had some difficulties, some problems as a teacher. I had some problems as a teacher also. It's true. Because managing children is not an easy job. Because the children that are going to university, to secondary schools, are children that are going there during their adolescent period. It can make life very difficult. And if you are not trained well, there's a time you mess up. And you mess up the students themselves. And you mess up their life, their futures. That is the difficulty that I found as a teacher.
After his tenure at Layibi College, Mr. Okullo was taken in as head teacher at Bishop Angelo Nigri College. I asked what differences he met as head teacher of both schools.
Well, private schools have their problems. Different from problems of government schools. When I went to Nigri College, I found that there would be problem with teachers because teachers were few and teachers were difficult to control because of lack of motivation, lack of pay. That made it very difficult for me. Because in government schools, I would have grants. Government would pay teachers and non-teaching staff. That would be no problem. But there now, all would be on the school. And number of the students, getting enough number of students so that you can get money was difficult. You can only make sure that the number of students has increased when you make these students who are there pass very well. They should pass very well. They should be disciplined. They should do very well in co-curricular activities. Then you attract clever students. Otherwise, we will continue to receive dull students. And these dull students, at the end of it, they will not pass exams.
Yes.
Nobody will come to you.
Wow.
That's the problem.
Now, as a retired man, Mr. Okullo spends his free time helping other schools. He is the current chairman of Gulu Archdiocese Education Commission and spends most of his time in meetings.
These days, I have a series of meetings. That's how I spend my time. Currently, I'm the chairman of Gulu Archdiocese Education Commission. So sometimes we have meetings where I spend my time. Currently, I'm the chairman of Caritas Justice and Peace Commission. This is where I spend my time when meetings are there. And currently, of course, I'm still the chairman of Sacred Senior Secondary School. So they call me for meetings, so I spend my time.
So you're still working. Do you get time for exercise, to walk?
Yeah, not a lot. Otherwise, at 80 and above,
You still look very young for 80.
I will not be that way.
You're very young for 80 years.
So, what I do is to walk. Minimum of 2 kilometers a day. Every day.
The famous head teacher also enjoys football during his free time. He also likes to read books. But in retirement, his love for cattle has made him become a farmer and spends most of his time admiring his cattle in his farm in Omel.
At the moment, I would like to watch football matches. That is, I go and read some books. And sometimes I go to admire my cattle. Because I have a cattle farm. That is where I get my livelihood. And I admire my goats. And I have a few gardens here and there. Those are the ways I keep myself fit.
When I asked him how he would like to be remembered, the man, known by many who have passed through his training, told me he would not like to be remembered as anything. He called it admiration. He says he does not want to force people to admire him.
I don't want to admire myself. And I don't want to force people to admire me. No, that's not my policy. I don't. I did not force people to name a dormitory after me at Layibi. No. I did not even ask the board to do so. But the board came up with it and named it. I did not ask the council to name a road after me. No. They did it like that. They know better. For me, I don't want to say that I have done so much well and so forth. I should be proud of it. No, I don't know. It's up to the people.
The retired head teacher has been married to Vicentina Amor, a former primary school teacher, and together they had 7 children, one of whom was sadly abducted by the LRA rebels from Lacho Seminary in 2001 at only 14 years. He was called Okello Charles Luanga, and to this day no information has been found about him. Mr. Okullo speaks very sadly about his son, who was his last born.
The last born.
Despite that sad part of his life, Mr. Okullo is very happy with his kids, 2 of whom are now medical doctors, Dr. Edward Ogwang and Dr. Judith Akomo, and many grandchildren who keep him busy. I finally asked what he would like to tell many of his students who are watching him today.
Well, I would tell them that one good thing is that they listen to me, and I thank them for that. That's number one. They listen to me, they follow me, what I say. That's what I thank them for. And I would encourage them to ensure that their children also study in good schools. And one thing is take them to good schools. As they were taken to good schools, to Layibi College. If you take them to poor schools, they will be bad. So that's the advice I give them. Let them take the children to good schools and teach the students good lifestyle. And I would like to thank them for material gifts they've given me. I know them. The car is still there, though it is weak.
They should buy another one.
The car is still there. And I refuse to sell it away.
You're keeping it as a souvenir?
It is there. It is still there.
The boys should buy a new car.
It is still there. The car is there. The goods are there. So, I thank them. And I wish them well. And they are already there in good jobs. But are they going to educate their children so that they also become as big as they are? Are they? So all your children, send them to schools and let them have discipline and hard work. That's all.
Thank you very much.